What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. The winter break is over and it is time for Bundesliga Week 16 predictions. It's been nearly a month, but we are back. I say it's been a month. We've still been doing Serie A on the channel, Premier League, Champions League, Ligue 1 over on Patreon as well. If you want a shout out in every single video, like everyone flashing up on your screen, as well as that, you get exclusive members tips and accumulators, Ligue 1 predictions, access to giveaways, group chats, and direct messaging to me. Then all you have to do is click the Patreon link in the description to head over there and join the community. You can chat with everyone else over there and it's just a really good time. So if you want all of those perks, click the Patreon link in the description. As I said, we're also doing Ligue 1 predictions over there, the same way that we do Bundesliga and that we're going to be doing in this video today. But there are some really good fixtures to get into, and let's get straight into the Friday night game, which I think promises to be an exciting one. Real quick, thank you all once again for 51,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. We're going to see if we can hit 75,000 subscribers this year. I think with the World Cup and everything else, that should be possible, and then we can push towards 100,000 in the future. I really do appreciate it. But as you can see on your screen, we have an absolute belter here. Friday night football. It is Eintracht Frankfurt up against Borussia Dortmund. Now, if we cast our minds back, although Frankfurt have only lost one of their last 7, they suffered a disappointing result drawing to Hamburg 1-1, but Borussia Dortmund got a very good result, beating Borussia Monchengladbach 2-0. We did have Dortmund to win, if I remember correctly, at odds of 1.85, I think it was, which is an absolute belter. I think it's difficult to look away from Borussia Dortmund in this one as well. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Dortmund. I thought about Borussia Dortmund to win, but I'm actually going to tip at the same odds, both teams to score and under 4.5 goals at odds of 2.1. I'm shading an under slightly. Obviously, under 4.5 is a very high line because some of the Friday night games in the Bundesliga have been a little bit underwhelming, certainly in terms of goal mouth action. And just in case this ends in a 1-1, but also if it does go high scoring like you might expect and ends in a 3-1 or even a 2-2, we've gone under 4.5 goals with both teams to score. I think Dortmund should be able to win, but sometimes you never really do know coming off the back of a winter break. Some teams playing friendlies as well. It can be hard to predict. So I'm going to side with what makes sense. And that to me is a Dortmund win, who of course have only lost one game all season. And that was against Bayern Munich. So 2-1 to Dortmund, both teams to score and under 4.5 goals. After this, we travel to St. Pauli up against RB Leipzig. Now, St. Pauli at home aren't actually that bad, and they haven't been that bad against RB Leipzig. And Leipzig have got 2 losses in a row. They lost to Leverkusen, which I think you could probably expect. I believe I said 2-1 to Bayer Leverkusen, but they also lost to Union Berlin, which I know for a fact I did not expect. St. Pauli, on the other hand, are unbeaten in their last 3 games after a string of losses. I cannot look past RB Leipzig. I just can't. I think they should win this one. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win, and I'm not going to complicate it. The odds are really good. RB Leipzig to win at odds of 1.85. If they don't win this, RB Leipzig is going on the no-bet list. They're joining Juventus, and I don't really know anyone else that's really on the no-bet list at this point. It's just Juventus, to be honest. Absolutely awful result in Serie A, but Leipzig should bounce back with a win here against St. Pauli. They're literally in the relegation playoff spot, and RB Leipzig are in the top 4. They need a win. They should get it. RB Leipzig to win. The odds look very good. Now we travel to Union Berlin up against Mainz. Now Union Berlin have a really good home record. They're decent at home, and Mainz, whilst I think they are better than 18th place, and perhaps they still won't get relegated even though they've only won 1 game all season. You've seen in the Serie A, Fiorentina looking to make the great escape. I think Mainz possibly could do that as well. But I just can't look past Union Berlin at home. They got a win against Cologne and a win against Leipzig before that. Another great result for them. So I'm going to shade it. I'm going to go 2-1. I thought about 1-1. I did, but I'm going to go 2-1. In case Mainz have a really poor game and don't score, I'm not going both teams to score. The tip is going to be Union Berlin draw no bet at odds of 1.5. That's not terrible odds for a team at home that plays well at home against a team who is bottom of the league. Even if it is Mainz, and I think they are better than their results this season have suggested, I think 2-1 is a fair shot. I realize there's a lot of 2-1s here, but this, I think that's my last 2-1 of the video. So only 3 of the 9 have actually gone 2-1. They're just all of the first ones. So let's move on to Freiburg up against Hamburg. Hamburg, as I said, with a brilliant draw against Eintracht Frankfurt, and Freiburg got got the win against Wolfsburg in a 4-3 7-goal thriller. I like Freiburg to win here. Hamburg, like I said, great point against Frankfurt. Good couple of wins there against Bremen and Stuttgart, but they lost to Hoffenheim. I think they're going to lose to Freiburg here. I'm going to say 2-0, and I quite like the odds of the outright win. SC Freiburg to win at odds of 1.75. I think Hamburg need to be very careful. They could be getting relegated this year. Even though they're in 13th and it looks okay right now, they are just 4 points off of a relegation playoff position, and I could see them drop down a little bit as the season goes ahead. But still, decent run of form. The winter break probably came at the wrong time for Hamburg. I think Freiburg should win this one. After this, it is Heidenheim up against Cologne. Cologne are a decent side, but they were in awful form. I think the winter break came really well for Cologne. They had 2 points from the previous 6. Heidenheim 6 points from the previous 6 with 2 wins sandwiched between 2 losses either side. I think Cologne are a better side. Heidenheim, of course, at home. The odds seem about right for me. Cologne favourites, but I'm just going to sit on the fence and say a 1-1 draw and tip both teams to score at odds of 1.61. After this, we have Werder Bremen up against TSG Hoffenheim. Hoffenheim up in 5th, Bremen down in 10th, 10 points behind TSG Hoffenheim. I think Hoffenheim are going to win, and I think it's going to be a very, very high-scoring, exciting game. I'm going to go for a 3-2 win to TSG Hoffenheim, and in case Hoffenheim don't win, I'd expect them to score a couple, and I think Werder Bremen can at least score at home. So the tip is going to be both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at odds of 1.8. That massively boosts up the odds from over 2.5 goals and both teams to score similarly, both at around 1.5. So I like BTTS and overs. I also an outside shout on TSG Hoffenheim to win and both teams to score. Odds will probably be about 4, which looks really good to me. Ultimately, Hoffenheim are having a great season, and I think they're just a little bit better than Werder Bremen, and that is suggested here. But I still could see, a 2-2 draw. The tip still comes in, but that should be a very exciting game. Speaking of exciting games, we have Bayer Leverkusen up against Stuttgart. Leverkusen barely ever draw, and Stuttgart just coming off a draw against Hoffenheim 0-0. That was a big shock, to be honest. Not necessarily the result, but 0 goals is crazy. They beat Bremen 4-0 before that. I think Bayer Leverkusen are going to win this one at home. I'm going to go for another barnstorming 3-2 scoreline, and I'm actually going to tip Bayer Leverkusen to win at 1.9. This way I don't have to rely on the goal market, which, as you can see from these two results, 0-0, 4-0, can be difficult to predict for Stuttgart, but Bayer Leverkusen are a decent side. They're at home, which is exactly where you want to be after a break, and they'll be up for this. I'm going for Bayer Leverkusen to win. Similarly, we have Borussia Monchengladbach up against Augsburg. Gladbach were on great form, then the break came at a good time, losing to Dortmund, losing to Wolfsburg. Not awful results, really, and they could have got something, at least a goal from the Dortmund game, definitely. Augsburg drawing with Bremen, losing to Frankfurt. I think they lose to Borussia Monchengladbach here. I'm going to say 2-0, and I think the odds are phenomenal here for Borussia Monchengladbach to win at odds of 1.95 with the home side. You want to be the home side after the winter break, as I said, and I think Gladbach can get the win here. I think they're a better team than Augsburg, and the league does suggest that, and obviously Gladbach made a comeback recently. They were bottom of the league for a while. Thanks to this run of results, they pulled themselves out of the relegation zone, and I expect them to continue climbing that little bit higher into perhaps the top half. And finally, we have Bayern Munich up against Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg had a good little run of results here, beating Gladbach and Union Berlin, drawing with Frankfurt, scoring in all of them, scoring 3 against Freiburg. I think they will score against Bayern, but Bayern are just too good. I'm going to go 5-1 to Bayern Munich. They're absolutely just incredible. So the tip is going to be Bayern Munich and both teams to score at 2.1. I think that's a really, really good pick. Bayern Munich actually playing FC Salzburg in a friendly today, and the odds for Bayern Munich and both teams to score in that game are 1.95. That's the first time I've ever seen a team to win and both teams to score be below evens. That's how likely it is that both teams score, but how likely it is Bayern win. It could only be Bayern Munich that provide odds that low, and even 2.1 is ridiculously low, but I think it's so likely. Wolfsburg, they're scoring in every game. Bayern are winning every game and pretty much conceding in every game. There was an exception with the 4-0 against Heidenheim there, but Heidenheim not very good. They drew 2-2 with Mainz, 5-0 Stuttgart, 3-1 St. Pauli, 6-2 Freiburg, 2-2 with Union Berlin, and then 3-0 against Bayer Leverkusen. So I think Bayern and both teams to score is a good shout. Lots of goals, It is the Bundesliga, of course. So there's a summary of my picks. I think there is a lot of value to be had in, dare I say it, the Leipzig win, the Bayer Leverkusen win, and the Gladbach win. And then I think there's going to be a lot of goals with Hoffenheim, as we normally expect, a lot of goals with Bayern Munich, and I'm expecting a few goals between Frankfurt and Borussia Dortmund this Friday. But yes, that is going to do it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please do drop a like, subscribe, join us on the road to 60,000. That is going to do it from me, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.